6, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Essex here. We're up in our shop today and we're going to walk around and show you some of the maintenance mistakes that we see done on some of our smaller tractors and equipment. Many of our customers choose to do their own oil changes. When you go through and change your fluids, guys are very used to going through and changing their transmission oils and switching out that filter and then draining the engine and switching out that filter, but often forget that there's a third reservoir, and that is your front axle. If you check your front axle, it's generally filled with either transmission oil or an 80-weight gear oil. Either one of them will work. But do remember, when you go through and change all those fluids, you're to be changing your axle fluids as well. And keep an eye on the fluid level that's in there. One of the most common repairs that you've seen done on all compact tractors is front axle repairs because of the weights and capacities that these loaders can lift. A lot of wear and tear takes place out there. So make sure you're checking your front axle oil along with all the other reservoirs on your tractor. Proper maintenance on your mower deck is really important. This is an often neglected area of a lot of guys' small tractors, equipment, and zero-turn mowers. First, going through and remembering to scrape all the grass and everything off the bottom. You'd be shocked the amount of material that can build up here on the bottom and cause maintenance headaches for you, right? The grass can sit in against the bearings and stuff and wear and cause heat. The grass on the bottom down here holds moisture against the bottom of your deck that can rust the shell out eventually. So scraping and maintaining your deck is really important. One thing that we usually see guys do wrong is in the installation of your mower blades, you do want to pay attention to how this blade is constructed to make sure that the cutting edge of the blade is installed down. All mulching blades, that's particularly difficult because of the waves and stuff that you'll have in the blades. Pay attention to how these are installed because they won't cut right if you put them on upside down. Also pay attention to the washers and stuff that are in here. Most of the washers on your mower blades are spring type washers that are meant to hold tension down there. Over time, those spring washers will wear and go completely flat and lose their springiness. And so replacing the washers down there every couple of blades that you replace is going to make sure that blade doesn't come loose underneath the deck. A lot of our smaller equipment uses small white plastic fuel filters, and in some machines like this BX have more than one before the fuel pump and one after. So make sure if you're changing your fuel filters that you're getting both of them, if your machine happens to have two. And when you install them, pay attention to this filter. These are actually directional filters. The hose barbs on both sides are the same, and it can be very easily installed backwards. So if you look very closely at the white plastic housing, you'll see an arrow on there telling you what direction fuel is supposed to be flowing through the filter. So make sure you don't install these backwards. It won't filter right, and it'll cause your machine to kind of choke and starve for fuel. Another maintenance mistake we see people make is selecting the wrong hydraulic fluid for their machine. It's important not to assume that all hydraulic fluids are the same, and to check your owner's manual and buy the recommended hydraulic fluid for your machine and also for your climate and your application. See a lot of times a lot of bad advice given saying that a compatible or lesser hydraulic fluid or a low-grade hydraulic fluid is passable with a particular machine. And for that customer, that may have been true. Not knowing though what the machine was, the type of transmission and the climate, there's a lot of variables that go into this. And so if you want to be sure that you're doing this right, make the right selection, follow what's on your manual, and pick up the right stuff to do this service, because we absolutely do see problems caused in transmissions and heat generated or machines making more noise by not putting the right fluids into the right tractor. Another maintenance mishap is the way that you can handle your air cleaners. A lot of the air cleaner boxes on these machines will actually lift up and out of their housings in order to make it easier for you to get into the filter. The fact that that thing lifts up is not actually a good thing. The way that these filters filter is through a cyclonic action, right? The air comes in and spins around on the inside of that filter, throwing all the dust and debris and stuff in the bottom of the air filter housing. So when you go and you now lift this thing up in order to get easy access into that filter, all the dust and debris and everything can fall to the back of the filter housing, and then when you pull your filters out, you've got that debris back here right by your intake. So when you change that filter or you pull it out for maintenance purposes, try to keep your air cleaner level. Don't lift the thing up out of its housing, allowing that dirt to fall to the back. So those are 5 of the most common mistakes we see people make when doing their own maintenance. You know, props to you for actually doing maintenance, right? It's going to really prolong the life of your equipment. But a lot of these tips we can give you are things that we've learned through experience of doing a lot of this stuff ourselves. And there is no substitute for experience ultimately. So just pay attention to what you're doing, or if you have questions, give us a call in and ask. You know, we're here to provide you all the filters and maintenance items that you might need to do your own maintenance, and we're happy to help and do it for you. If you're in our local area here, we have a whole fleet of road trucks that can come out and take care of your machinery for you. So for all of those parts, sales, and service needs, give us a call at Messick's, 800-222-3373, or online at Messick's.com.